The night shift at Iron Vault Fitness *. I used to have trusted my first instinct, that tiny, gut-deep pinch of discomfort I felt the moment I stepped inside Iron Vault Fitness after 11 p.m. on a Wednesday night. People love to say your body knows, before your brain does, that a creeping sense of wrongness is the mind's warning shot before something bad happens. But I ignored it that night. I was only thinking about work deadlines, the extra pounds I'd gained, and how the nighttime gym was supposed to be the quietest time to finally get my life back on track. I remember the exact moment the door swung shut behind me. The sound echoed too long in the mostly empty building, louder than it should have been. Music played overhead, some generic playlist of electronic beats, but the place felt unusually still, cold, stale, like the air hadn't been exchanged properly all day. I scanned my key fob, heard the beep, and stepped fully inside. That was the moment everything started to feel off. Iron Vault wasn't a small gym, it stretched long, with different zones sectioned by half walls and tinted glass. Cardio room, weight racks, locker rooms, training turf, and an upstairs mezzanine with treadmills. Normally, I'd see at least 10 or 15 people, even during late nights. But tonight, there were only 2. *1 was a huge guy I'd never seen before, mid-40s maybe, built like a retired powerlifter. He stood facing the mirror, performing slow, perfect deadlifts with a bar so loaded it bowed slightly. No music, no earbuds, just the rhythmic scrape of metal and the small grunt each time he rose. The other was a woman on a rowing machine, her hoodie pulled up, face hidden, moving in deep, mechanical strokes without looking around. I hesitated. This was too empty for a Wednesday. It wasn't a holiday, and Iron Vault was usually 24/7 busy. But I shook it off. I told myself I was overthinking it. I was tired, stressed, nervous about trying late night workouts for the first time. I walked toward the dumbbell racks. The powerlifter guy watched me as I passed. Not obviously, he didn't turn his head, but his eyes lifted in the mirror, tracking me. Something about them unsettled me. They were dark, sharp, almost too alert. I gave a polite nod. He didn't smile back, didn't even blink. I looked away quickly and pretended to stretch. I kept telling myself, stop being weird. It's just a gym, a normal gym. Americans work out at all hours. Nothing unusual here, nothing dangerous. But I'd learn later that your brain whispers the truth long before you admit it. Something in that room was wrong, horribly, fundamentally wronged. I stepped straight into it, thinking I'd be in and out in an hour. I started with a warm-up on the stationary bike. Within minutes, I got that sense every gym-goer knows, that someone is watching you. A prickling heat across the back of your neck. I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't. I glanced sideways. The woman in the hoodie was still rowing, still facing the screen. But her rower wasn't on. No blinking lights. No display data. The machine beeped every time someone started it, but I hadn't heard anything when she began. Her movement was too smooth, too steady. No breaks, no variation. Maybe the display's broken, I told myself. Maybe she likes it that way. But the unease stayed. That's when I noticed something worse. Her reflection in the rower's side panel looked delayed. Just slightly. A fraction of a second off. I blinked hard. Looked again. This time it looked normal. I shook my head, told myself I'd been staring at screens all day and my eyes were strained, but the hook had already set in my stomach. Pulling tighter, after 10 minutes, I headed for the weight racks. The powerlifter guy had moved on from deadlifts to bench press. He was pressing 315 like it was a warm-up. No spotter. No clips on the bar. His breathing never hitched, never strained. His face barely changed. I picked up a pair of dumbbells, pretending to focus on my reps. But I kept catching movement at the edges of my vitreous settle, shifting, like shadows adjusting themselves whenever I wasn't looking directly at them. Every time I turned, everything looked normal again. You're tired, I told myself. You're imagining things. But then I noticed the music had stopped. I hadn't heard it shut off. It had just faded, without me realizing. Silence filled the gym except for the rhythmic thud of the man's bench press and the quiet glide of the rower. I checked my phone. No service bars. Not one. Weird, Iron Vault always had great coverage. I moved to a squat rack. That's when I saw the blue cleaning bucket in the corner. Nothing strange about that gym's keep cleaning supplies everywhere but the mop inside. It was dripping even though the mop head was completely dry, and the bucket was full of water, but the surface was perfectly still. I don't mean mostly still. I mean unnaturally still. Like glass. Like it had frozen mid-motion. Even when I walked past it, no ripples formed. I crouched slightly and exhaled toward it. Nothing. Not a tremor. Static. I backed away. Maybe that's when my brain first fully accepted. This isn't me being tired. Something is wrong with this building. But I forced myself to keep going. I wasn't going to be the 30-year-old guy who ran out of a gym because of a creepy mop bucket. I loaded plates onto the squat. But 185. Enough to warm up. Not enough to embarrass myself if the powerlifter glanced over. I stepped under the bar, lifted it, stepped back, braced a hand, touched my shoulder. I jerked forward, almost losing my grip. It was the woman in the hoodie. Her fingers were a scold. Can you? Her voice rasped. Spot me. I exhaled shakily. Jesus, you scared me? She didn't apologize. Just tilted her head slightly, like she didn't understand the reaction. Like she was mimicking a curious animal. Sure, I said. Because what else was I supposed to do? She walked to the squat rack beside mine. But here's the thing. Her rack was empty. No bar, no plates. Nothing to lift. Yet, she positioned herself underneath an invisible weight and braced, like she was about to squat. I blinked hard. 1 second, she was standing under an empty rack. The next. Her shoulders dipped as if something massive had been placed on them. Her knees bent. Her breath hitched. Her hands gripped the air, fingers flexing around nothing. Then she rose again slow. Smooth, deliberate. A perfect squat. But there was no bar. My scalp prickled so hard I felt every hair. Lift, she stepped forward, as if to re-rack her invisible bar. Then she turned toward me. How was it? She asked. My mouth was dry. Good. Strong rep. She nodded once, almost mechanically. Then walked back to the rower and resumed rowing on the unpowered machine. Hoodie still covering her face. I stared at the squat rack, at the empty bar hooks, at the untouched safety bars. There were no footprints from her shoes, no sweat, nothing. I felt lightheaded. I reached for my phone, again no service, not even emergency calling. My screen kept glitching between 1:14 a.m., 9:07 p.m., and 12 a.m., like it couldn't decide what time it was. Something was wrong with Iron Vault. Horribly wrong. I grabbed my bag, decided I'd leave without stretching, without showering, without anything. I didn't care. I'd go to another gym. I'd work out at home. I'd run laps in my apartment living room if I had to. But as I started toward the exit, the lights overhead flickered. Once, twice. Then every light in the building snapped off. I froze. Everything went pitch black. The only sounds were the soft glide of the rower and the slow, heavy breathing of the powerlifter. I stood perfectly still, heart pounding so loud I felt it in my skull. Then the lights snapped back on. I gasped. The woman in the hoodie was now 10 inches from my face. Her hood was down. Her eyes weren't right, too wide, too bright, too reflective, as if catching light from a source I couldn't see. Her lips were parted slightly, like she was listening to something inside me. Don't leave yet, she whispered. I stumbled back. What the hell is wrong with you? I yelled. The powerlifter spoke. From across the room, his voice deep, flat, emotionless. He doesn't like when people try to leave early. I turned toward him. He was sitting upright on the bench press, the heavy bar resting across his lap. He wasn't looking at me. He was staring up at the ceiling like he was listening. The woman cocked her head in the same direction. So did the powerlifter. They tilted their heads in perfect synchrony, like marionettes pulled by the same string. Air shifted overhead like something large, moved across the vents. The lights flickered. Again, my breath caught in my throat. What are you talking about? I whispered. The powerlifter finally looked at me. He likes routine, he said. He likes people finishing their workout. I took a step backward toward the exit. No, the woman rasped. Not yet. I turned and sprinted toward the front doors. They didn't open. Not manually. Not automatically. My key fob didn't register. The sensor card reader didn't light up. The metal felt warm under my hands. Too warm, like the door had been heated from the inside. The powerlifter's heavy footsteps approached, slow but deliberate. The floor trembling slightly with each step. I turned around, but he wasn't alone anymore. The gym was full, completely full. People at every machine. Every rack, every treadmill. Moving, lifting, running, rowing. But none of them made a sound. No grunts, no footfalls, no breathing, no music, no conversation. Just dozens of bodies performing repetitions in utter, synchronized silence, and every face was blank, expressionless, eyes forward, focused on routines only they knew. I tried to shout, but sound felt swallowed by the air. The woman appeared at my side again. Too fast, You stopped mid-set? She said softly. He doesn't like that. I'm leaving, I whispered, pushing past her. The entire gym stopped moving at the same time. Every head turned toward me. I froze. Dozens of eyes, all locked on me. Waiting, the powerlifter spoke. Voice steady. Finish your workout. A massive pressure filled my ears like being underwater. The overhead vents rattled, something crawling inside them with weight and purpose. The ceiling panels bulged slightly, like something was pushing down. Asterisk, I think that's... When I realized this wasn't a haunting, this wasn't a prank. Something lived inside Ironveld, something that fed off routine, repetition, physical ritual. And the people who stayed too long didn't leave. They became part of it. The woman stepped closer until her face was inches from mine. "Finish," she whispered, "or he'll finish you." The lights flickered violently. The ceiling groaned. Asterisk, I did the only thing I could think of. I walked back to the squat rack. My hands trembled as I lifted the bar. Asterisk, good, the power lifter said. Everyone else resumed their silent movement. I squatted 1 rep, 2, 3. Asterisk, the air loosened slightly. The pressure eased. The woman nodded approvingly. That's better. Asterisk, I forced myself through a full set. Then another. My legs shook, but not from weight. Fear had hollowed out every muscle. Asterisk, I tried again to edge toward the exit. All eyes turned toward me the moment I broke rhythm. No, the woman hissed. Finish your routine. Asterisk, what routine? Asterisk, what routine? I gasped. They all spoke at once. The one you started. I nearly fell backward. My routine. Bike, squats, dumbbells, stretching, shower. I had skipped stretching. Asterisk, stretch, she said gently. Then you may go. I didn't believe her, but I didn't have a choice. Asterisk. Every pair of eyes in that room were on me. So I walked to the mat. I knelt. I reached toward my toes. As I stretched, the air vibrated like a deep, satisfied exhale filled the entire building. Asterisk, the ceiling panels settled. The vents stopped rattling. The pressure in my skull faded. I held the stretch for 30 seconds, then switched legs, then leaned forward. The powerlifter nodded slowly. Asterisk, the woman smiled faintly, the first expression I'd seen on any of them. Asterisk, now you may shower, she said. My blood ran cold. Shower wasn't part of my plan. I showered at home. I always had. I'm not, I whispered. Every head turned again. Asterisk. He didn't like that. The lights dimmed. Something massive moved above us, the ceiling sagging slightly in one long ripple. I bolted, not toward the locker room's toward the fire exit behind the cardio machines. Asterisk, I slammed my shoulder into the push bar. Asterisk. It burst open. Cold night air hit me hard. I sprinted into the parking lot barefoot, not remembering when I'd kicked off my sneakers. I didn't stop running until I reached my car. I dove inside, fumbling with the keys. Asterisk, the gym doors remained silent behind me. No one chased, no alarms, no voices, just the gym sign flickering overhead. Iron Vault, Fitness Asterisk, 24/7, always open, always watching. Asterisk, I peeled out of the lot and didn't slow down for miles. When I got home, my phone suddenly had service again. Time synced normally. My messages came through. Asterisk, but one notification froze me in place. Ironveld Fitness, monthly check-in. You've been marked absent from tonight's session. Asterisk, your routine remains incomplete. Asterisk, we'll see you again soon. Asterisk, I canceled my membership. Immediately, or tried to. The website, glitched.asterisk. The phone number rang endlessly, and then cut off. Asterisk the next morning. I drove past the gym to see if it was open. It was gone. Completely gone. Asterisk, the building was locked. Windows dark. A sign posted said, "This location closed permanently as of 6 months ago." 6 months. I had been inside it 10 hours earlier. Asterisk, I'd tried asking people in nearby shops, but they all said the same thing. Iron Vault had shut down after a structural collapse. Something in the ceiling had given way. No injuries. They claimed the gym was empty when it happened. Asterisk, but that wasn't true. I know what I saw. I know what I heard. The ceiling had been alive, and the people inside weren't people anymore. It's been 3 weeks now. Asterisk, I haven't gone back to any gym. I haven't exercised at all. But every night, around the time I would have been at Iron Vault, my phone buzzes with notifications. Workout incomplete. Missed routine. Return recommended. Last night, a new one appeared. Asterisk, he's getting impatient. Asterisk. And this morning, when I woke up, there were chalky footprints on my bedroom floor, leading to the corner, stopping inches from my bed, as if someone had stood there, watching me sleep, breathing heavily, waiting. I don't think this is about a gym anymore. I think Iron Vault follows people. I think it marks you when you enter, and, I think it wants me to finish my routine. Asterisk, whatever happens tonight. If I don't survive, if I disappear, asterisk, do not look for me in any gym. Asterisk, do not go inside. Do not work out alone. And if you ever feel something watching you mid-rep, don't drop the weight. Don't skip your cool down, because he doesn't like that.